Imagine this. In the heart of a brutal winter storm that could freeze the soul of even the toughest American trucker or British lorry driver, an 82-year-old widow opens her door to a tattooed giant bleeding out on her doorstep, a notorious Hell's Angel biker with a rap sheet longer than Route 66 or the M1 motorway. What she does next doesn't just save his life, it unleashes a chain of events that exposes buried secrets, topples empires, and unites a fractured town in ways no one saw coming. If you're hooked already, and trust me, you will be by the end, hit that subscribe button right now for more jaw-dropping tales that blend heart-pounding action with real human drama, straight from the streets of the USA and UK. Don't miss out. Subscribe today and join the thousands who can't get enough. In the small, snow-blanketed town of Evergreen Hollow, nestled between the rugged peaks of the Rocky Mountains where blizzards howled like vengeful spirits, lived Eleanor Whitaker, an elderly woman of 82 whose frail frame belied a spirit forged in the fires of a lifetime's hardships. It was the night of December 23rd, the kind of storm that turned the world into a white abyss, winds whipping snow into frenzied dances that buried cars and homes alike. Eleanor, alone since her husband Harold passed 5 years prior from a heart attack while shoveling the very driveway now lost under drifts, sat by her flickering fireplace, knitting a scarf for no one in particular, her only company the crackle of logs and the distant wail of sirens that faded into the gale. She had lived in Evergreen Hollow all her life, a place where everyone knew everyone's business, from the mayor's extramarital affairs to the local diner's secret pie recipe, but tonight, isolation wrapped around her like a shroud. As the clock struck midnight, a thunderous pounding shook her front door, not the wind, but something heavier, more desperate. Peering through the frosted peephole, Eleanor gasped at the sight. A massive figure slumped against her porch railing, clad in a leather jacket emblazoned with the infamous Hell's Angel's skull and wings, blood staining the snow crimson around him. His motorcycle lay toppled in her yard, half buried, its engine still ticking faintly like a dying heartbeat. Fear clutched at her chest. Stories of the Hell's Angels had filtered even to this remote corner, tales of outlaw bikers running drugs, enforcing with fists and chains, a brotherhood that lived by its own brutal code. Yet, something in his eyes, visible through the swirling flakes as he lifted his head weakly, stirred her compassion. They were not the eyes of a monster, but of a man on the brink. Against every instinct screaming for her to bolt the door and call the sheriff, Eleanor unlatched it, the cold blasting in like an Arctic invader. "Dear God," she murmured, helping the stranger inside, his weight nearly toppling her as he staggered over the threshold, leaving a trail of blood and melting snow on her faded rug. His name, he gasped through chattering teeth, was Jax Reaper Malone, a road-hardened veteran of the Angels California chapter, on the run from a botched deal gone wrong in Denver. A rival gang had ambushed him on the highway, bullets grazing his side and leg, forcing him to veer off into the storm until his bike skidded out near her secluded cabin on the town's outskirts. Eleanor, drawing on skills from her days as a nurse during the Vietnam War era, bandaged his wounds with steady hands, feeding him hot soup and whiskey to ward off shock. As the blizzard raged on, trapping them together for days, conversations unfolded like layers of an onion, each revealing more sting than the last. Jax spoke of his life on the edge, orphaned young, drawn into the Angels for the family he never had, riding through sun-scorched deserts and rain-lashed coasts, but haunted by regrets, like the brother he lost in a turf war and the daughter he abandoned to keep her safe from his world. Eleanor shared her own scars. Harold's quiet alcoholism that eroded their marriage, the son they lost to a car accident at 18, leaving her childless and adrift. In the glow of the fire, barriers crumbled, Jax's tough exterior softened as he helped her chop wood when his strength returned, and Eleanor found in him an unexpected confidant, reminding her of the boy she once buried. But twists lurked in the shadows. On the third night, as power flickered back on and news reports blared about a massive drug bust linked to the Angels, Jax confessed the truth. He wasn't just any biker. He was an undercover FBI agent, embedded in the gang for 3 years to dismantle a nationwide smuggling ring that funneled fentanyl through small towns like Evergreen Hollow. The botched deal was his extraction gone awry, and in his saddlebag, hidden under bloodied clothes, was a flash drive containing evidence implicating not just gang leaders, but local pillars, Mayor Harlan Croft, who laundered money through his construction firm, and Sheriff Dale Ramirez, who turned a blind eye for kickbacks. The storm had delayed his rendezvous with handlers, stranding him here. Eleanor's heart raced. Croft had been Harold's best friend, attending their son's funeral, even helping her with repairs after Harold's death. Betrayal burned hot, but Jax urged caution. The evidence could shake the town to its core, exposing corruption that had poisoned the community for decades, from rigged elections to overlooked overdoses claiming young lives. As the blizzard subsided on Christmas Eve, word spread of the stranded biker at Old Widow Whitaker's place, drawing suspicious eyes. The mayor, sensing trouble, sent goons disguised as concerned neighbors to check on her, but Jax, still healing, ambushed them in the barn, a fierce brawl ensuing amid hay bales and tools. Eleanor, grabbing Harold's old shotgun, fired a warning shot that echoed through the valley, scattering the attackers and alerting the real authorities. Chaos erupted. FBI swarmed the town, arrests followed like dominoes, Croft in handcuffs on live TV, Ramirez confessing to cover-ups. But the deepest twist came when Jax, poring over old photos in Eleanor's attic during recovery, spotted a familiar face. Her lost son, Tommy, in a faded picture from his teen years. DNA from a coffee cup confirmed the impossible. Jax was Tommy's son, Eleanor's grandson, adopted out secretly after Tommy's girlfriend fled town pregnant, fearing the Whitaker family's judgment. The accident that killed Tommy, staged by Croft to silence him after he discovered early corruption. Tommy had survived, amnesiac, rebuilding as Jax in the biker world, his path circling back unknowingly. The revelation shattered Eleanor, then mended her, family restored amid the ruins. The town, reeling from exposures, rallied, overdoses plummeted with cleaned-up streets, a new mayor elected from honest folk, and Evergreen Hollow reborn. Jax stayed, leaving the Angel's life, building a garage with Eleanor's blessing, their bond a beacon. Whispers of the blizzard miracle spread, shaking not just the town, but inspiring reforms statewide, proving one act of kindness in the storm could avalanche into justice. Years later, Eleanor passed peacefully, her story etched in local lore, a testament that even in the coldest night, warmth could ignite revolution.